4th of July, Wednesday, and it's almost 90 degrees. The humidity is suppressing. You can almost see the moisture in the air. So let's go down and do a little recon. You can see the alfalfa behind the dam has really resurged. We mowed that, got a lot of velvet leaf out of it. Not velvet leaf, but broadleaf. And it's not as good as it could be, but it's in like the 3rd or 4th year. But as you can tell, it really took off. And you can see my efforts from burn down with sleigh, where it burnt this grass down and let the clover come up through it. But all in all, that's coming back pretty good. There's a couple weeds down here I'm going to go down and pluck off. Right here at the creek crossing. Back in this Missouri crossing's held up quite well. By the way, we're going to venture up here and see the effects of our mowing. And remember, I was trying to mow tight and see if the clover by its own would get ahead of the grasses and stuff. And I don't know. Remember where we had that line, we set this line up and we mowed it right to the ground. Well, that's showing me one thing. The clovers, they grew where I mowed, will go up here. And this is really a hard effort to do. Remember, we overseeded it, threw a little bit of seed on it. Well, we staked this out where we put those stakes, and you can see that clover is as tall as my hand. So that's a good 6 inches of growth, and we have very few broadleafs in here, and the clover's trying to outdistance the grass, which I might as well be considered a weed. And I needed to have this sprayed, so everything that can go wrong on this plot's gone wrong. And nobody's fault but my own. Now over here we have an abundance of clover, and keep in mind this is the 1st year. It's in the shade here. But I didn't see any difference on the growth when I set the mower up higher, because like I said, that was that path that we made, and right there's the stake, and you can see the clover right there at that stake is just as tall as my hand. And then the rest of this we raised the mower up. But oh well, it needed to be sprayed. That grass rejuvenated, and I'm going to have to mix some Arrest Max and some sleigh up and see if I can't burn this stuff down, because the clover is in there. It's, like I say, that mowing helped. It wasn't detrimental to the clover. It's still in there, but it's in strong competition right now with the grass. And I don't know if I can get that set back. I might just, plow it up and put it into a fall annual again and go at it again next spring. But there is a substantial amount of clover in it. And there's a picture of our old clover field. That's the oldest one on this property. And you can see where the herbicide did its thing on these grass spots where it burn it out. And there's no broadleaf. Well, as soon as I said that, I look over here. Here's an escapee. So, well, we sent him to his demise. So, but like I said, you can see the effects of where I sprayed the herbicides at. That was all killed out by herbicide. And this one might not have been, it still might have been under the clover. So, but like I say, you definitely can see where that killed that out at. And basically with spot spraying where the grasses and weeds are, and it took them out. Now there are clovers rejuvenating in those bare spots, and that's what we wanted to see. So and like I said, here was a couple more. We'll grab them out of there. Don't take nothing while here. You get the roots and all. The ground's still quite moist, which is good, because we're going into it the driest part of the year. And you know, we got all the roots out. They came right out, and so that was a good thing. But all in all, for the age of this clover, it's still bringing good protein and nutrition into the picture. And like I said, you can see where the sleigh and the Rest Max did its thing. It really did suppress that grass, killed it out. And here's a real good, see that clover growing up through it? That's the results of that. And that ain't all bad. And for you people that are just getting into food plotting, you're far better off to go with a perennial, and there's several good ones on the market. And fortunately, Whitetail Institute is the leader in that. And the reason that perennial is it saves you so much cost and time. You'd have to plant, I planted this 11, so it'd be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 7 years. 7 years you haven't had to till anything up. 7 years this has produced tremendous tonnage. 7 years the deer herds know where it's at. And they all eat this to the ground. They're on it continually, 365 days a year. Now if I was to say, as people are always looking for the magic bullet, I would have to say the Whitetail Institute Fusion, Alpha Rack, they got several good other perennials out there, the whitetail clovers. That would be the silver bullet that you're looking for. Once you get it established, you're looking at a 7-year-old crop, and you haven't had to till it every year. You haven't had to put 7 different crops in, and it has as much drawing capacity throughout the entire 365 days as anything on the market. And like I said, the Rest Max and the sleigh did its job. As you can pan around, and we just seen those brown spots, that was grass, and that killed it, and it was relevantly tall. So maintenance on it is, yeah, you'll have it, but yet if you're looking for something to plant it and do the least amount of tillage and expense, your perennial is your silver bullet on your holster. You can see some turkey tracks going up here to that clover field. Deer tracks. This clover plot back here sums it up. I don't know how many deer are attracted to this field, how much wildlife, but here it is, the 4th of July, and this is the original planting. It went through a drought last year, the severest on record, and without any reseeding or whatsoever other than just mowing and spring fertilizing and fall fertilizing. Got a heck of a crop. Last year this clover grew. We had 1.5 inches of rain in June, which we had 10 inches this year. And in July we had 1.5 inches. So in 2 months, 60 days, we only had 2.5 inches of rain. And we're so far ahead of the rain right now as I stand that this clover is basically good to go, starting to flower. We'll see how it comes out, whether we're going to do a mowing on it or and remember, mowing is essential in keeping it tender. The taller the ag hay and all that gets, it becomes real stemmy even for livestock, and the same thing happens to your clover. So mowing is an essential thing, but that goes pretty fast, a lot faster than tilling up the ground and replanting. Yeah, what I want to show you is nature's way of suppressing weed growth. And you hear the term canopying out, and boy is it hot. It's like the tropics here. Anyhow, nature has its way of controlling weed growth, and I'll show you what I'm talking about and what farmers and food products should be concerned with. That's why you want to get fast germination and get your crop, desirable crop, to canopy out fast. That way the sunlight can't get to the ground and suppress the growth of the weeds. It may not kill them, but it'll keep them pretty small. Now here's what I'm talking about. Now you can see those broadleaf weeds, and you can see the natural canopy. Well, those weeds down here would probably be head high or higher if they were exposed to direct sunlight. Fortunately, they're shaded out, so therefore they don't get much growth, and that's what you want. That's what they talk about canopying. When your corn canopy's out, it shades up the rows, keeps the sunlight from getting to the ground, and it suppresses weed growth. Just something I wanted to show you naturally what you're trying to do. We'll go up in the field and I'll show you exactly what canopy means in the cornfield. Now keep in mind, this is 4th of July. And as you can look down those rows, you can see no weed growth whatsoever. I mean, what is there is not even accountable. But that's canopying. See how dark it is in there? And another thing about the canopying, I want to show you something. This is for you people to learn. As I can still, on the 4th of July, hasn't rained. That was 10 inches of rain in June. But the soil still holds plenty of moisture in here because the sunlight can't get in here and dry it out. But as you look down through those rows, anywhere you want to look, you're going to see virtually no weed growth. Now when I was a kid, the old saying would be, your corn needed to be knee-high by 4th of July. Well, let's measure this corn. It comes out, it's 89 inches tall. Yeah, it's 88, 87 inches tall. Yeah, we got super corn this year. Last year, this corn at this time wasn't much over 3.5 feet tall. This week, with the heat coming in, might have a marginal rain. We should get tasseling. Now, look at these beans. Look at them beans. Now, you just seen this bean field. It hadn't been more than 2 weeks ago. And the perfect weather conditions has really stimulated this. I'm going to turn around here. These beans now are getting real close to canopying, closing the rows in. And see, they're 38-inch row. My planter was 38-inch row, so that's what I planted with this year. But virtually no water hemp down through there, which is what I wanted to get rid of. Now, here it is. Those beans, the tallest one is 18 inches tall of growth, and we still need quite a bit more height. They'll probably canopy out at 30, but that's a pretty good bean crop for the 4th of July and 99% weed free. Oh, one thing I want to go over with. This corn serves two purposes. It's not only a high carbohydrate, it's 90 some degrees right now today. And believe it or not, in January, it'll be 90 degrees less, possibly 100 degrees less than I'm standing here today on this field. And the deer will be seeking high carbohydrates, and that's what the corn will offer. Plus, the other reason I leave the corn stand all year, why I can't plant a cover crop, because nothing would grow in those rows, is I don't harvest it. And the reason I don't harvest it, it acts as a screen. And as you pan around here, you can see the screening effect. And I've went over this before. That's why I don't plant, another reason why I don't plant cover crops in there, because like I said, you just seen how clean the rows were. There's no sunlight in there, wouldn't grow nothing anyway. Plus, I want to leave that as a screen so the deer can come out and feel more secure without being in the wide open. That's why I don't mow the corn down. That's your number one way of, if you have a property that's wide open to the public's view, you can use the corn or sorghum, the height of it, to make a natural screen plus a heck of a food source for all wildlife in the hard winter months. I'm really satisfied. If you remember last year on my videos, I gave up on my beans. I broadcasted them on, and I had an infestation of water hemp that had taken this field completely over. And I said I was going to have to revamp, and I did. And as you walk down through these rows, basically weed free. Now they're not canopied over. Now see, here's something of interest to you. You see how the cracks are in the ground? Same field. But as the sun can bake that, it draws the moisture out, where in the cornfield, once that canopy gets on there, that is really obstructed from the sun to draw that moisture out. There's a couple velvet leaf. I'll pick them while we're here. But as we walk down through here, I'm really happy with my efforts. As Einstein stated, insanity is when you keep doing the same thing over and over and get the same results. You have to change your food plots up. Now this area back here, we didn't put a herbicide on it or anything, and it's in direct sunlight. Same field as the corn. Oh, there goes the deer. Huh. Anyhow, you can see the height of this velvet leaf and these weeds, and all you have to do is turn around, and like I said, look up through those rows. They're weedless because they're canopied out. I'll be planting this in a fall annual here in the next month or so. But this is your natural seed bank that could grow up without, you know, there's some of that nasty water hemp stuff. I'll be getting that disted under here in the next day or so. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is a field of success. Now you watched me in the last video hand pulling several weeds out, bushel baskets out. And this is first year alpha rack. And it is really taken a hold. It's just especially for the first year. And it can only get better in time. You notice the chicory in there. That's that wide-bladed forage. And we get on out here where the alfalfa is. It's really doing good. This is a grazing alfalfa. And was it, some of you asking, was it worth to pull all those grasses out? Well, you don't see very many of them in there. So you damn betcha it was. And if I get up here on another cloudy day, but I mean, all in all, it is really good. There's one water hemp, and I'm going to get him while I'm here. I hope by showing you people real-time events is helpful to you. I'm not seeking notoriety, I'm not seeking endorsements, I'm not seeking payment. I'm seeking to be able to help one person understand terminology and and the hard work that goes in the food plots. And my food plots are to enhance the overall wildlife, not just the targeted white-tailed deer. Lord knows I've killed plenty of them without the aid of food plots. That's called hunting. But this is called, what I do here is land management, and I enjoy every minute of it. And what makes it even more enjoyable, I can show you, you know, that clover field down there is less than desirable, but I can bring you up here and show you the clover field, the alpha rack field, and the cornfield and the bean field. Those are some of my successes. But yeah, you will have some setbacks, and but don't let that get you down. So that's it from the non-typical. I hope you had a happy 4th of July, and it'll be another 30 days. It'll be fall annuals coming in. So that's it from the fields.